Well, friends, I didn't get called into work, so I came back today, and my intention was to tackle this area, to pull all the weeds up and finish laying mulch on this whole health strip. But sometimes with gardening, what you need to do does not line up with what you really want to do. And so I started cutting back all the salvia. If we look throughout this entire terrace garden, all the salvias are currently cut back. So that took a lot of the color away, but I know that it's important so that I can have them working on their next flush of flowers, which will take a few weeks at least. So hopefully about, I don't know, a month from now, I guess. I also cut back this catmint here. So this cat's meow catmint that I had recently planted was more, expired almost, I guess I would say, than this Walker's Low catmint that I have right here. So I didn't cut that one back, but I felt like it was looking faded, and I went ahead and cut back the cat's meow catmint that's over here. So long story short, I decided to mulch this bottom terrace with the 12 bags. It was the perfect amount. And now I just feel like you can just really see the plants that are supposed to be there. I pulled any grass, any stray 4 o'clocks that had reseeded from last year, all that sort of thing. And everything that is in here right now is supposed to be in here. And the things that needed to get deadheaded were deadheaded. And I just think it's looking great. And then something that was kind of in my mind as I was doing this is like, okay, so at this time of year, I need to cut back all these salvias. And you want other flowers to like take the center stage, at that time when you're waiting for those salvias to grow back. So what I'm thinking about right now is like, what other flowers do I have actively in bloom right now? So like my Veronicas are in bloom. I mean, really just kind of at the beginning of it. This one here in the front, am I pointing at the right place? Barely has any blooms yet, but yeah, these are really just like in the past week starting to color up and be in bloom. I have my purple pink cushion flowers. Those are more of a deadhead as you go rather than cut back the whole plant sort of thing. These daisies that, again, if I hadn't just like divided them in half and planted them recently, they would be looking better and they would probably be blooming more. So this is something that would be in bloom during this time that my salvias are kind of taking a break and going back. And then of course the yarrows, I always forget what these are called. It's a different kind of lamb's ear. Stachy's humolo. The Stachy's humolo are in bloom right now and looking really good. This white, well, it's not blooming white yet. Okay, next to the white rose, just to the left of it, you kind of see like a plant that, I don't know how you would describe that. But anyway, that is white Gara, and pretty soon it's going to start blooming white. It's going to get even taller, and it blows around kind of like a grass, and it's really pretty. So hopefully that will be adding some flowers to the show here. I see that this yellow sedum is blooming, and that is something I have a lot of over at the rental house, so I could bring more of those over and add that to this garden to give it more flower power during this lull time. But my point is not just looking at it as, I guess, adding more things to have more things blooming, but having things that are blooming while the other stuff that I cut back has to take a rest, and kind of trying to plan the garden in that way so that there's always something interesting going on. So another thought I had was like, this would be a great time to go to the store, to the, garden center and pick up some more flowers that are in bloom, because if they're in bloom now, then hopefully next year they would be in bloom at the same time. That may or may not work, because a lot of the things that are sent to the garden centers are grown in a greenhouse before they get there, and so they're ahead of where they would normally be, I guess, at this time. So I don't take that to be 100% certain, but it's still an idea to think about. Maybe I should pick up some things now that I can pop in here and be in bloom while this stuff is resting. But anyway, I think it looks great. I'm happy that I mulched it and the 12 bags worked out just perfectly. So the only thing I didn't get done that I wanted to get done was cutting back my Jade Parade sand cherry. It's supposed to get its pruning and shaping done right after it blooms. And so, you know, that way you're not cutting off next year's buds. But I've been here for probably like 4 hours and I'm getting tired and hungry. So I don't know if I'm going to do that today. And then I'm supposed to work tomorrow, although I'm thinking about calling in and asking them if they really need me, because I had just picked up extra hours and I don't really want to. So if they don't really need me, and if they don't treat it as a call out, then I'll just ask them if they can take me off the schedule and see what they say about that. But anyway, if that were to happen, if I do end up having tomorrow off, maybe I will come back and try to get the mulching done on the upper terrace so that I can just kind of be done with both of these terraces and have them looking tip-top, you know. But yeah, I'm glad that I got all that deadheading done, weeding. I pulled 4 o'clocks, grasses, just everything. So I didn't intend for this to be a long video because I know I just made one yesterday, but I was just excited about the mulch getting done, and you know how it goes. It's hard to not do a show and tell when you think that your garden is starting to look good and you've made some sort of change that made a big impact. I'm gonna go up here and zoom in a bit on these. So I know I've mentioned this before, but I have yarrow at the other house and I want to bring it over here and add it to this garden so bad, but it's very close to blooming. The yarrow at the other house hasn't started blooming. Well, that's not true. I have one clump that's a pink, but it's a different shade of pink than this one. It's more of like a bubblegum pink, whereas this one's more of like a hot pink. So that one is already in bloom at the other house. And then I have the peachy colored one that fades to yellow. I think it's called Peach Sky. It's the same as the one I have down here. Right here, these 3 clumps are all of that same kind. And I know that because it's bigger, it's taller at the other house, and it's about to start blooming, and it's not a great time to transplant it because, especially if I can't water it in well, and I don't know how certain the rain is in our future forecast, it will wilt and it'll get dried out and stuff. So what I was thinking about is it'd be best just to let it go ahead and bloom at the other house, and then I'll probably cut it back by about half and try to transplant it over here and add to my peachy yarrow in this section. And then this one here is a totally different color. It's like should be like a wine color red, which, like I mentioned before, will match this flower's wine red, the hibiscus, and be slightly darker than the red that I have down on that end next to the pink. So anyway, I'm waiting on transplanting that other yarrow from the other house. But otherwise, happy with my progress today. Everything's looking good. And that's it. I will see you guys next time. Bye.